Welcome to a festive feast of football. 12 days until Christmas and 12 championship crackers for you from Tuesday and tonight, which is where we begin. Leicester City, top of the tree, against a Millwall low on cheer, sliding towards danger after picking up 1 point from the last 12 available. Tom Skippings is your commentator.
After a 4-0 win over Plymouth at the weekend, a defensive reshuffle for Leicester. Ricardo Pereira and Conor Coady come in for Chowdhury and Justin. There's still no Vardy or Iheanacho, so Patson Daka continues up front. Changes too for Millwall. George Saville and Jake Cooper both return from bans. And leading scorers Nisbet and Fleming drop to the bench. Duncan Watmore and Tom Bradshaw start. Difficult assignment for Joe Edwards Millwall. Just 1 win in 10 games as they come to the King Power. Wallace has done well there though to win the header. Watmore has kept it in play. There's Wallace again. Will deliver the cross, which is met by Bradshaw for 1-0. How about that? Millwall take the lead. Inside 10 minutes. Tom Bradshaw with the header. And the travelling fans have something to celebrate and something of a surprise, perhaps. Wallace with the cross. Bradshaw's first league goal since September. It's a neat header. And Millwall in front. Not what Enzo Maresca had in mind. A shake of the head from the Leicester manager. Stood in midfield again. Saville finds Hudibin, and that's a neat ball for Bradshaw to run onto. Another chance here. Puts it into the side netting this time. Leicester looking strangely vulnerable, and Millwall threatening to take advantage. Tom Bradshaw, Vestergaard just did enough. The angle became difficult for Bradshaw, and he put it into the side netting. Coady. Leicester need to settle into their football. Fatawu taking on Wallace and beating him pretty comfortably. Tees it up for Ndidi. Best chance so far for Leicester. Wilfred Ndidi couldn't hit the target. Fatawu has got the beating of Wallace every time, you think, and he finds Ndidi unmarked. First time effort. And over the crossbar. Better from the home side. Ndidi finding plenty of space. Fatawu again. Will take on Harding this time. Into the box and goes down. And referee Stroud points for a corner. Some Leicester players believe that should be rather more. Fatawu brought down by Wes Harding. Any contact with the ball here? Not really. It's a decent penalty shout for the home side, you have to say. Corner to Leicester. Early stages of this second half. It's cleared in the end. Dewsbury Hall will retrieve it. Delivers the cross, and it comes, and it's gone off Vestergaard, I think, and looped in. Leicester are level. Just 2 minutes into this second period. Yannick Vestergaard with his second league goal for the club. In comes the cross. Vestergaard rose highest. What was Sarkic doing? You have to say the keeper's out of position. Came for a cross, never looked like getting there, and Vestergaard, perhaps off his shoulder, has looped it in for 1-1. As soon as they've conceded that equaliser, Millwall have dropped into a defensive formation. How can Leicester break them down? Winks, that's a lovely pass for Ndidi, who's found some space and stands it up! They can break them down. Patson Daka scored his first goal of the season at the weekend, now he's got another. The celebration is out. In the side because of the injuries to Vardy and Iheanacho, and taking his chance, Ndidi found space from Winks' pass, stood up the cross, and Daka has bundled it over the line somehow. Won't mind about the quality of the goal. Leicester have turned it around, 2 goals in 3.5 minutes, and they lead at the King Power. Leicester patient now, just probing for another opportunity to extend their advantage. Mafididi down the line. Dewsbury Hall has found space looking for a man to pick out. Here's Cannon. Can he get the shot away? It's blocked. It's still not clear, and Pereira's shot has gone in, and that will do it for Leicester. It's 3-1. Ricardo Pereira back in the side. By no means a regular goal scorer, but Millwall just didn't deal with the danger created by Dewsbury Hall. Tom Cannon got a shot away. It wasn't cleared, and Pereira's shot takes a deflection off Ndidi, and he will be claiming that surely. No matter who the goal scorer is, it's Leicester's third, and they're well in control now. Kick is forward. Cooper is up and gets on the end of that. Here's Leonard, real chance here. Honeyman, and it's hooked away. Leonard surely had the opportunity to shoot there. And Honeyman got the effort on target, but Wout Faes cleared it. Still hope for Joe Edwards' side. Leonard teeing up Honeyman. And Leicester get it away. Cooper did well to win the header initially. Surely the shot was there for Leonard. People have had their moments in the last few minutes of this game. Saville will deliver the corner. In it comes. And it's not cleared, and it's turned in. Harding and Nisbet between them. I think it's Kevin Nisbet off the bench with his 5th goal of the season. And can we have a grandstand finish here? We're into stoppage time, but there's still 3 or 4 minutes left. And Millwall have reduced the deficit. And there is the final whistle. A slightly nervy end for Leicester, but it's another win for Maresca's side. They passed 50 points for the season already. Final score, Leicester 3, Millwall 2.
Now, 4 teams all unbeaten at the weekend. Norwich against Sheffield Wednesday comes right after Southampton's trip to Coventry.
No visiting outfit had scored here since the end of October. Stewart and Adam Armstrong combined for Southampton. No joy there for the side unbeaten in 12. Mark Robbins' Coventry looking for a 4th win in 5. Only the 1 defeat on their own turf this term. Ellis Sims with a chance to put them ahead. Gavin Bazunu with other ideas. This one came to life early in the second period as Russell Martin's men were pushed back. Callum O'Hare, a 2-goal hero in their victory over Birmingham, and he came to the fore once again, rattling the bar against the 4th-placed Saints. Callum can challenge keenly and create as well, slotting through here. Sky Blues fans used to rave about Moroccan Mustafa back in the day. They have a modern-day Hadji to get excited about. Hadji Wright, his 4th in 7 EFL games, leaving the team of Martin smarting. Their long run without defeat in jeopardy. But they reacted well. The South Coast club had drawn their last pair of away fixtures 1-1. And that was the scoreline again, as sub Samuel Edozie netted his 3rd senior goal. His team haven't lost in nearly 3 months. Recent encounters with this opposition haven't been pretty for City. No home maximum against them in 15 years. A. Armstrong should have put them behind. Would he rue that miss? Well, there was still time for a late opportunity at the other end. Ben Sheaf with the golden opening, but Bazunu ensured the spoils were shared. No unlucky 13 for Southampton. A tough championship nut to crack.
Norwich handed a first championship start to Borja Sainz, and it didn't take too long for the 22-year-old Spaniard to repay that faith. Just 7 minutes gone and he made something out of absolutely nothing. Not a bad way to celebrate your first league goal. It was just what the Canaries were looking for as well, with wins on home turf, thin on the ground in the last couple of months. It also threatened to put the brakes on Wednesday's recent revival. They'd won their last 2, and they were knocking on the door here as well. Angus Gunn pulling out all the stops to keep Michael Ihekwe out. That said, the visitors were also riding their luck at the other end. Ashley Barnes was looking lively for the Canaries with time and space. All that was missing was the finish. It's been a very good few days for 18-year-old Bailey Cadamarteri, who's just signed a new contract at Hillsborough. And the impressive teenager showed all his quality as he succeeded in giving the Canaries a bloody nose, as well as picking up one of his own in the process. That's 2 goals in 3 matches for him, and a future that looks to be very bright indeed. Still, the chances flowed for David Wagner's side, and Barnes was tenacious in his pursuit of a first goal since August. Unfortunately for him, it was turning into one of those nights. Mind you, a half-time talking to seemed to have done the trick for him and his teammates, as the home side came out bubbling with effervescent intent, and when a sweeping move turned defence into attack, there was Barnes in the danger zone to pick up that elusive third of the season and fire them back into the box seat. Cross wires perhaps in the Wednesday defence as well, but definitely loose wires in the comms kit of referee Matt Donoghue, who needed a lengthy time out for some running repairs. But that interruption didn't seem to interfere with the flow of the men in yellow and green, and there would be more for the home faithful to enjoy. Jonathan Rowe hadn't found the back of the net since late October, but the Canaries' top scorer produced his 9th of the campaign, with a finish that eluded Cameron Dawson. It helped propel his side a little closer to the playoff conversation, which is just what they were looking for ahead of the East Anglian derby at the weekend.
When we return, Wayne Rooney marks his 10th league game in charge of Birmingham and heads to Cardiff, hoping to pick up just his 2nd victory. Two sides that have started December slowly next. Back-to-back defeats for both Middlesbrough and Hull had put the brakes on their playoff ambitions. Both were looking for a strong response, watched by Phil Blacker.
Barlaser, Greenwood, showed a bit too much of it to Cyrus Christie, who's lost it here. This is Greenwood, he does have support, cut back in his direction, and there is Latte Lath to fire Middlesbrough in front already. Perfectly placed to pick up the pieces. It's taken a shade over 5 minutes for Middlesbrough to hit the front, thanks to a 5th championship goal of the season for the Ivorian, who's been finding his form of late, and he's found the finish here. Greenwood played his part, so too did Engel, and Latte Lath with the finish. The goals are beginning to follow now for the summer signing from Atalanta. 2 renowned tacticians who generally know what to expect from each other's teams, but are also fully aware there might be the odd tweak in tactics here or there to try and catch each other out. It'll be a fascinating tactical tussle. Fine margins and all that in this division. Latte left the target. It was Alfie Jones that just reached it first. Still got work to do here, though, because it's back into the feet of Latte Lath with support from Isaiah Jones. Big chance. And he will certainly feel that he should have made it 2-0. Had stayed onside, Latte Lath in the build-up. Jones was the extra man. It was threaded neatly into his path. Just couldn't find any composure in the finish. Got it all wrong in the end. That's a neat little touch for Delap to try and take over. Slater was looking to cut it back. He had 3 or 4 to try and pick out in the penalty area. Bit more of a threat all of a sudden from Hull City. Jones and Greaves up from centre-back, joining the likes of Delap and Ozan Tufan as targets. It is helped on by Greaves, and it's going to be turned in by Liam Delap from right in front of goal. Hull City have got their equaliser. It's all square at the Riverside. And we go into the closing quarter of the contest with the Tigers back on terms. Greaves' header from the corner, taking the Middlesbrough defence almost entirely out of the equation. And Delap was left in space to do the rest.
Taken short here, Isaiah Jones. Trying to go around Connolly, squeezed it in. Greenwood's there. Big scramble continues. Allsop had made the initial save but couldn't hold it. Now with Barlasser, everybody still forward in red in the penalty area. If Barlasser can provide the cross, he can! And the header from Crooks was straight at Ryan Allsop. This was excellent from Jones. It was awkward for Allsop, both in making the initial save and then when it came back his way. That was the Crooks header straight at Allsop that followed. Connolly the target, but again, not necessarily playing to his strengths. He was beaten in the air by Fry. But Vanagra's done well to reach this ahead of Dijksteel and for a moment get in behind him and then cuts back the cross, wasn't dealt with by Barlasser, and it's there from Ozan Tufan to complete the turnaround on Teesside for the Tigers. Back from behind to lead at the Riverside. And all of a sudden, it is Hull City on course as it stands for a return to winning ways tonight. A fifth goal of the season for the Turkish international. He stepped off the subs bench into the spotlight. Could be such a crucial one. Final seconds of stoppage time ebbing away here. Middlesbrough remain on the front foot right to the finish. Can Rodgers find a way in behind again? It's cut out by Coyle at the expense of the corner if there's time to take it. That's the question that Liam Rosenior, I think, is asking at the moment. Seny Dieng is up for it. There won't necessarily be time for him to have to get back again. So the keeper committed to the attack as well for this. Now or never for Middlesbrough if they're to salvage something. Literally everybody in the penalty area. It's in towards Dieng, comes out for Jones. Goalwards again from Van den Berg and then blocked behind. Allsop, the hero, with what proves to be the final touch of a compelling contest, which went right the way to the whistle. But it's the Tigers that completed the turnaround and have hung on at the end. It has finished. Middlesbrough 1, Hull City 2.
I believe in this group. They're a really, really good group. We're a young group. They're fearless at times. We make naive mistakes. We try and play good football. I thought Middlesbrough were excellent at times as well. It's a really good game. But what I'm trying to get into the group, that the Championship is not just about football, it's about character. And that bit at the end makes me so proud as a manager, because we're throwing ourselves in front of shots, we're blocking things, we're putting our bodies on the line. And then after that, I see the unused substitutes run across and congratulate each other. That makes me feel like I've got a good group. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with today.
Cardiff against Birmingham coming up, but first it's in-form Queen's Park Rangers. A fourth straight win would take them out of the relegation zone and level on points with opponents Plymouth Argyle.
QPR may be the form team at the bottom end of the table, but you wouldn't know it from the way they started against Plymouth. They gave up possession frequently and allowed Ryan Hardy plenty of space. Asmir Begovic stood firm. It was a familiar pattern in the opening stages. Another loose pass led to another chance for Hardy. As he made up his mind, Osman Kakai came to the rescue for QPR. A positive start, though, for Argyle after a 4-0 mauling at the weekend, but the wind was taken out of their sails on 25 minutes. Some strong challenges going in. This one by Dan Scarr on Ilias Chair, a little too strong for referee Tony Harrington. A straight red and an early end to Scarr's evening. A look at the replay, and he can't have too many complaints. That led to a momentum shift. Now it was QPR, and Chris Willock in particular, who started to look dangerous. His back post cross to Charlie Kelman somehow didn't result in a goal. The temptation for Plymouth might have been to dig in and hang on for a point, but in spite of being a man down, they had their moments in the second half. This one just too much of a stretch for Kane Kessler-Hayden. And in spite of their second half dominance of possession and a total of 29 attempts on goal across the 90 minutes, QPR were unable to make the extra man count as it finished goalless. Still no away win for Plymouth this season, but after playing with 10 men for over an hour, this draw will feel like a point well earned.
None of Birmingham's 5 points under Wayne Rooney had come on the road. Jay Stansfield out to avoid more travelling Blues against the Bluebirds. In August, Cardiff were Carabao Cup conquerors of these opponents, managed by John Eustace at the time. Dimitrios Goutas got Errol Bullett's boys back on track at home at the weekend. No repeat of his goal here, thanks to John Ruddy. Ever green, ever so good in Brung yellow. His boss out to avoid a 6th straight away loss. Siriki Dembele, a silky smart supplier for Juninho Bakuna, who outwitted Runar Runarsson. This in first half stoppage time, the visitors on course for a first ever win at this stadium. They'd won both league games in which their number 7 had scored this season. Would that theme continue? Well, they went for a second. Bakuna's corner finding its way to Jordan James. His attempt repelled, Emmanuel Awu unable to profit on the follow-up. It's Christmas party season, and this was to be a rare celebratory night at the office for Rooney's Birmingham. Despite Christian Bielik's best efforts, the advantage wasn't doubled. No tug on him either, said the ref, but the pocketing of 3 crucial points, a turning point, time will tell.
Over the last few weeks, I take a lot of it, which is fine. But the players in there as well, they know they take a lot of pride and responsibility in the performances, and to come away under the pressure after the last few weeks and get the win, I'm really pleased for them.
Last night's action now, when High Flyers Ipswich with a trip to Watford and a chance for the Tractor Boys to go top of the table for 24 hours at least.
Ipswich have made 5 changes from the side that beat Middlesbrough at the weekend. Kieran McKenna still ringing the changes. There's Axel Tawanzabi, who is one of the switches tonight. Hladky, and that's a poor touch straight to Asprilla. There's a chance here for Watford. Rajovic's shot is saved, and Asprilla bangs in the rebound, and Watford take the lead. 12 minutes in, an absolute gift for Jesse Asprilla. Václav Hladky with the mistake, consoled by his teammates. What was he thinking? Straight to Asprilla. Rajovic's shot was saved by the keeper, but Asprilla put away the rebound, and Watford are in front here. A real blunder by the Ipswich keeper. A superstar per team in attendance tonight, Ed Sheeran of Ipswich and Sir Elton John, the former Watford chairman, of course. Headed down for Harness, who sweeps it out wide for Hutchinson. Marauding down this right-hand side, gets the shot away, it's saved by Hamer and turned in by George Hurst. Ipswich are level. They have been pressing, good response to going behind. And Amari Hutchinson is causing all sorts of problems. The shot took a deflection. Hamer did well with the save. And George Hurst with the simple task to tap it in. His 6th goal of the season. Brandon Williams swept out wide to Luyungo, who was fouled by Kayembe. Free kick there to Ipswich. Referee Darren England. Late change tonight for David Coote. Gives a free kick to the visitors. Davis standing over it, and it comes. It's met by Hurst, and it's 2-1. Won't count though. Whistle's gone. Referee Darren England has seen something there. George Hurst thought he had his 2nd of the night. There's a foul there before the header on Porteous. Kayembe. And Kone. That's a nice pass, swept out wide for Ken Sema. Will run at Clark, and here's Jamal Lewis. Puts it wide. Really good chance for Watford. Really nice move as well. Ken Sema finding Jamal Lewis, the former Norwich man, would love to score. In fact, Hladky got a foot to that. Boot knocks it forward. That's laid off nicely for Tom Ince. This is promising. Kayembe couldn't keep the shot down. Watford are creating chances. That was neatly worked. Tom Ince finding Kayembe. The angle's tricky. He couldn't hit the target. Davis with the throw. Dapo can't control it. Kayembe tidies up for Watford. That's a heavy touch, and here's a chance for Morsey. Ipswich take the lead. 10 minutes from time, and the town skipper Sam Morsey seizes on the mistake from the Watford captain, Wesley Hood. A real howler from the defender. And Ed Sheeran is all smiles, Elton John not so much. Ipswich ahead with 10 minutes to play. Morsey pouncing on the mistake and sliding it home. Really good contest, but it looks like it might be settled by a mistake. Stoppage time is almost up. Watford take the throw, and in fact there is the final whistle. Ipswich Town march on. It's a 4th successive win for Kieran McKenna's side, a 7th on the road this season. More than 2,000 travelling fans from Suffolk have seen what they came for. 50 points up for Ipswich Town, and they head to the top of the table. Final score, Watford 1, Ipswich 2.
More from last night to come, including new man Liam Richardson taking the reins at bottom club Rotherham United. Sunderland now and interim manager Mike Dodds, looking to make it 2 wins from 2 since following on from Tony Mowbray. Leeds United come to the Stadium of Light in great form, unbeaten in 7, winning 6 of them.
Somerville is going to take this early and dangerous Leeds free kick. Lots of red and white jerseys back, and it's tipped away. Well, he went for it. It was dipping and curling. I think it would have headed in. And Nyan and Barr all lurking around in there. In goes the Pritchard free kick, the little flick on, and it's somehow off the line. Not done yet. Try Hume here for Sunderland. Spence trying to pen him in. Really good delivery, and somehow Leeds kept it out. Pritchard with this corner kick for Sunderland. And the flying header, what a save! Oh. Seal was off and celebrating, and Meslier clawed it away. That is some stop from Meslier. Certainly 2 of the big beasts of the Championship, Sunderland and Leeds. It's a decent little forward run and a very interesting ball out to Abdullah Barr. Came off the heel of Strauch. Dan Neal's there. Not the greatest clearance from Gray. Good save by Meslier, though it was pretty much straight at him from Huggins. Wasn't a brilliant header from Gray. It was hit hard by Huggins, but straight, and straight at Meslier. Ekwah. Round the corner neatly into Dan Neal by Alex Pritchard. Roberts is in the middle. Huggins. Back in by Pritchard. Bellingham! Oh, it fell beautifully for him. All he had to do was get his head on it, and Joe Bellingham put Sunderland in front. And Mike Dodds could be heading for 2 wins in 2 games as caretaker manager against 2 of their promotion rivals. It was Dan Neal who drove Sunderland forward here. Huggins got himself involved. Neal's ball in, and it came to Pritchard, who cushioned it very cleverly into the path of Bellingham. I don't think anyone in blue expected that, but Pritchard very, very clever. I'm sure he meant it. And Bellingham was being played onside by Gray and just had to touch it past Illan Meslier to give Sunderland a precious lead. Everybody now defending for Sunderland as Leeds look to break through. Ampadu. Nonto. Might come to Pirro, it did. Pirro and off the line brilliantly. Joel Pirro denied. It was Try Hume standing on the goal line who made the block. Great block that. Terrific goal-saving block to deny Leeds and Joel Pirro. And the whistle goes. And Mike Dodds is 2 wins in 2 as Sunderland caretaker manager. Sunderland 1, Leeds United 0.
We've played West Bromwich Albion and Leeds, who are both in the playoff spots, and we've conceded 5 shots on goal over 2 games, which says how hard they've worked. They've listened to the messages and executed the game plan. So, you know, if they keep that up, you know, it's going to be a really, really good season for us.
Liam Richardson took charge at Rotherham on Monday, with the Millers sat bottom of the table, but with 26 matches to go. Next up, West Brom, still in the playoff places despite defeats in their previous 2.
Albion lost here in April, currently handily poised in 5th. Dean Garner with Furlong to his left. He goes for Malumbi, straining and stretching for that one, but so too is Seb Revan. The Villa loanee conceding a corner. Appointed Monday, big game Tuesday. Richardson's team have to do some defending here though, and Furlong unable to force the save. That was one from the training pitch. Mowatt's corner, flicked on, no goal for Corberan's visitors. Still very much in the balance. Kipre concedes a free kick. Hope here perhaps for the new boss. Rathbone swings it in for Hugill, the former West Brom loanee. Straight at the keeper. Away by Palmer. Falls for Malumbi. Good control. Links up well with Dean Garner. Space now for the Baggies number 8. Cleared only as far as Grady. Dean Garner! The away fans celebrate. The Congolese happy to please. Liam Richardson's New York welcome party may be falling flat. The Baggies looking to bolster their playoff position. Their first effort on target, took a deflection, past Johansson, 1-0. They've got it exactly where they want it. West Brom deep inside opposition territory as the clock ticks away. They cut this one out. Fellows for Mowat. A Dauphin lunging in, protests his innocence, but a free kick awarded in a very dangerous position. Wallace, his favourite, goes for glory and scores! A gem from Jed. Sublime set piece. The time of year for putting up decorations. The returning skipper adorns the contest with some early festive sparkle. Late in the game, it's turning into a tremendous Tuesday on the travels for Albion. Revan for Bramall. There is the final whistle. A win for Corberan's charges. Substitute Wallace clinching it in style. Rotherham remain rock bottom. The new boss with a huge survival job on his hands.
Next to Ewood Park, with Blackburn sat just 2 points outside the playoffs despite back-to-back losses. Liam Manning's Bristol City were winless in their last 4.
There's a likely candidate. Oh, and he's not far away from keeping up the habit. Almost opening the scoring this evening. Everyone bar Knight. And Conway in defensive positions here for Bristol City. And that's a lovely touch. Here's Sigurdsson. Ice in his veins. His first start in 5. That's a reminder. And Bristol City's troubles away from home continue. This is unlike Blackburn though. They've lost 5 of their last 7 home games. They've had more joy on the road. Wonderful touch. Sublime finish. It's 2 points off. 6th at the start of play Blackburn. That's a towering header. Scott Wharton. And they've got Bristol City by the throats now. Absolutely begging to be thumped home. The defending not at the level required to stop a man desperate to meet it in attack. And a team that scored as few goals as Bristol City. Well, mountain and climb. There's Carter. Playing it into Moran, intercepted. Maybe an opportunity here for Bristol City. Game on! Mark Sykes in a flash. And Blackburn's principles get them in trouble. Hayden Carter almost inviting Bristol City onto the Blackburn defence, telling them what he was going to do. Moran wasn't ready. Bristol City were. Great composure from Knight, and Sykes will finish them all day. A touch of nerves now around Ewood. Mehmeti, the substitute. Matty James. Skipping away from Adam Wharton. There's Knight with the effort. They're getting closer and closer here. It's a good save from Wystedt. Blackburn had control of this game. But since Bristol City reduced it to 1, the wind is in their sails, and it's in Sykes' sails as well here. Knight, good effort and another good save. Not the first he's had. Blackburn will hope it's the last, because the balance of probability here is starting to side with the visitors. And in the end, it's a hard-earned victory for Blackburn Rovers. Blackburn Rovers 2, Bristol City 1.
More still to come from the Championship when we return, including 2 teams in real need of wins. We're at Stoke and Huddersfield next. Huddersfield Town now, hovering above the relegation zone, having drawn their last 2. They were taking on Preston North End, who went in search of their first win in over a month.
And that's beautifully worked. Bit of space for Miller once more. And players in the centre. It's just headed skywards. And will fall to Brown, who goes down, and, well, big appeals for a penalty. But the appeals are waved away. And there certainly was a leg dangled out by Helik. The referee deciding it wasn't a penalty, not enough. Dominant start by the team in red, and they come forward again here. Back to Holmes. Oh, that's a good ball in, and an even better header. What a goal that is from Alan Brown, and what a start he has had. It's a 3rd league goal of the season for the Irish international, and that is a superb header to beat Maxwell. Miller once more. It's a beautiful bit of skill to get away from one Huddersfield Town player, pointing where he wants the likes of Keane to go, and Keane gets there and finishes. And it's 2-0 Preston North End, and you have to say on the balance of play, they have deserved the 2-0 lead. Wonderful bit of play down this left-hand side from Miller. Laid it on a plate for Keane, who scores his first goal since early September. Of course, lots of changes for Huddersfield Town after the break. Is it going to be the change that Darren Moore desperately wants? This is a little better down the right-hand side, and that's a good ball into Danny Ward, who gets the Terriers right back in this encounter. They barely had a shot at goal in the first half. but now they're right back in it. Simply worked down the right-hand side. It was Pearson on the overlap with a brilliant ball in, played in with pace. And Danny Ward able to open his account for this season. Another one for Miller to chase. Brilliantly set up the second goal. What's he got this time? Instead finds Holmes. And he now sets up Whiteman, who gets the shot away and finds the back of the net. Oh, Maxwell will feel he probably should have done better, but Whiteman won't care. As Preston North End re-establish their 2-goal cushion. Second league goal of the season for Ben Whiteman, but it's 3-1 Preston.
We've had some good form and not won games. We've had some just okay form and won games, and we've had some bad form where we haven't won anything. So, look, as long as the lads can keep following what we're trying to give them and keep executing it, you know, we're in this together. The group of players and the staff, they take on board everything we ask them to do on a daily basis, and we continue to do that. We'll keep collecting more points, and that's obviously the aim.
We can't expect to perform like that and win a game. So we give away too many cheap goals tonight. When you give away cheap goals like that, you can't expect to win a game. So we got what we deserved tonight, which was nothing from the game.
Another 2 managerless sides now. Stoke parted company with Alex Neil at the weekend and met Swansea, who sacked Michael Duff just 6 days earlier.
2 very inexperienced first-team managers for Stoke and Swansea. Paul Gallagher brought to the club in the summer by Alex Neil, who is now out of work. And they're not hanging around here, Stoke. And that's another excellent save, and on the rebound it's blocked. Shamadeo on the follow-up. But Ryan May with the opening initially. Unable to find either side of Rushworth. Swansea had won just 1 of 8 before beating Rotherham at the weekend. Quite a strange run of form. They won 4 in a row before that. Started the season in poor form. Showed promise and then dropped off again. It was enough to cost Michael Duff his job. And they've played themselves into a bit of bother here. Opportunity for Johnson. Parried over by Rushworth. Feels like a matter of when rather than if here, though. Again, either side, and Rushworth's in trouble. Matt Grimes. Swansea having to probe, patient, benefiting from the slip. Josh Key. The cutback's on. A wonderful save. Jack Bonham smothering the shots. Jamie Patterson thought he was putting it in the back of the net, and in the end it's smothered after Keanu Weber was there on the line to block it. A defeat against Sheffield Wednesday at the weekend, really damaging for Stoke. They have a habit of conceding late goals at the moment. 3 games in a row, QPR, Plymouth, Sheffield Wednesday. And they wanted the advantage, they're getting it. Oh, and they won't. This time it's a penalty. It looks pretty clear-cut. Ryan May tripped. Harry Darling, the culprit. And such composure from Daniel Johnson. A fantastic penalty. Can Stoke hold on to the lead? Oh, it's been missed and nodded into the back of the net. Darling in the dying embers. Jack Bonham misread the flight. Harry Darling didn't. And it looks like Swansea are going to snatch a point here.
Leicester and Ipswich further cemented their automatic promotion hopes with wins. The Tractor Boys have opened up a 10-point gap on Leeds in 3rd. West Brom and Sunderland stay in the playoff spots after victories. Hull climb to 7th. QPR were the only side in the relegation zone to pick up a point after defeats for Rotherham and Sheffield Wednesday. Birmingham's second win under Wayne Rooney puts them 6 points clear of the drop. We're back on Saturday at the usual time of 9 p.m. here on ITV4. And remember, catch up on all our shows and much, much more on ITVX. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Morsey! Ipswich take the lead. A Pereira shot has gone in, and that will do it for Leicester. Bellingham to Sunderland in front, and it's there from Ozan Tufan to complete the turnaround on Teesside for the Tigers.
A much-needed away win for Birmingham City.